Well, welcome. I hope you have all had a pleasant and fulfilling week. And we are going to commence our second session of live Noahide prayer. You have to bear with me a little. It takes me a while to get used to this new, how shall I say, presentation mode. But I would like you all to start off by making sure that you're in a quiet space, not only physically, but in your own mind. And we'll just pause and prepare ourselves before we start praying. So, last week I introduced you to the concept of hitbo badut, and it's the habit of separating oneself uh, in a quiet, serene frame of mind and space somewhere where you are living, or it could even be some nice spot in your garden or something like that, where whatever suits you. And then we sort of center ourselves on just concentrating on this appointment that we have with Hashem and the things we want to talk about, ask forgiveness for, and just meditate in silence and wait for responses. Things come to mind when we quiet the mind and the body. So that's what we're going to do. And this is private prayer, mostly for you, but I will give you a few guidelines. Sometimes we just need a few little prompts to get us, how shall I say, um, to gain a bit of momentum in what we want to do and what we want to talk about to our loving Father. So that is about quieting the mind. That quietness nourishes the soul. Um, it also allows the soul to focus on the focus of attention should be the nourishment of our soul every day, and we, we need to remind ourselves that we are part of the divine vibration of creation 24/7. So, our breath, our heartbeat, just listening to your breath, just maybe taking your pulse and feeling your heartbeat. That's divine vibration. None of that would exist if it were not for our loving Father. So that alone gives us reason to be extremely grateful and to thank our loving Father. So just today, I want to talk very briefly about the practice of tzedakah. Many of you have probably heard of it. It's a Hebrew word and it's spelt Edakah, tzedakah, tzedakah. And it is a small donation. We take in private prayer, we take a very small coin. Um, Look, I've got sort of just like 5 cent is our lowest denomination in Australia. So before you pray, just take a very small coin and put it in a container. Tzedakah is for charity, it's for goodness. So before you pray each day, just put a small coin in a tin or a box or a plate or whatever it is. And there you go. I've got a little tin there that I empty out when it gets full, and I put it in a community charity that would be suitable for a Noahide to put money towards. I don't know in other countries, but I don't go to church denominations unless I found a Noahide organisation close by I could give it to. Or, but there are many things you can. In Australia, we have Lions Club. They often have a donation box. Banks often have the guide dogs. McDonald's in the bigger towns and cities have Ronald McDonald House, which is an excellent non-denominational charity to give to. So that's just some ideas. Now, the other thing I just want to remind everyone about is that preparing for our prayer can be a bit daunting for some people. You can think, quieting the mind sometimes takes time. Look, one of the loveliest things that I think we can do is read a psalm. And the psalm I'm going to read this morning is Psalm 20. And it is particularly a go to psalm if you are in need, urgent need, if you're feeling ill physically, you're feeling emotionally drained, any need you have, be it physical or emotional, Psalm 20 is the go to psalm. And I can tell you, I use this a lot. In fact, I printed it out and laminated it. And I've got a few copies, and one in my handbag here, there, and everywhere. And I go to this psalm quite often. I can quickly say it. I don't have to think about fumbling through words. And by the time I've read through this, my mind knows what I should be saying or asking for. So let me read it to you. For the choir master, a psalm by David. May the Lord answer you on the day of distress. May the name of the God of Jacob fortify you. May he send your help from the sanctuary and support you from Zion. May he remember all your offerings and always accept favourably your sacrifices. May he grant you your heart's desire and fulfill your every plan. We will rejoice in your deliverance and raise our banner in the name of our God. May the Lord fulfill all your wishes. Now I know that the Lord has delivered his anointed one, answering him from his holy heavens with the mighty saving power of his right hand. Some rely upon chariots and some upon horses, but we invoke the name of the Lord our God. They bend and fall, but we rise and are invigorated. Lord, deliver us. May the King answer us on the day we call. It goes on. Kingship is yours, and to all eternity you will reign in glory. As it is written in your Torah, you, Lord, will reign forever and ever. And it is said, the Lord shall be king over the entire earth. On that day the Lord shall be one and his name one. Indeed, the righteous will extol your name. The upright will dwell in your presence. And footnote, when in need, say Psalm 20. So there we go. Now it's a good idea for us to separate ourselves from these distractions now, and with the purpose of having quiet seclusion and contemplation with our loving Father. And just to give you a little bit of a help along to prepare for this, quieting the mind and nourishing the soul. So to do that, we sit in silence. Sometimes it's good to take a couple of deep breaths. I want to allow my soul to be the focus of attention. I want my soul to be encompassed within the divine vibrations of Hashem. I must look after my soul. The very breath I take and exhale and the heartbeat I have are all part of God's divine vibrations. And we should never forget that. As we have this meaningful preparation for our appointment to speak with our loving Father, the quietness and the serenity that we have escaped to helps. It is now the correct time to reflect upon our past days with gratitude for all we have received. We focus on any regrets we have, examine our conscience, and let our mind recall things that we need to ask Hashem forgiveness for, things that we could have improved upon, actions we need to correct, those we need to seek forgiveness from. Concentrate on these things. Always asking Hashem for his loving forgiveness. He has abounding loving kindness that he freely gives to us every day. There are so many ways that we can nourish our soul. Are we doing that adequately? Are we doing it often enough? Are we questioning the things that should nourish our soul? Are we doing those things? The small acts of kindness shown to others. These are things that nourish our soul. We should at this point ask God to bless and help all those who are sick, needy in ways emotionally, spiritually, and in things such as housing, food. They may be ill from some sort of illness, severe illness. So praying for the sick and the needy in our communities is a very important thing to do. So let us pause and think of anyone that we know of who needs Hashem's loving kindness. we should remember to ask Hashem to watch over our country, the country of our where we live, or where we were born, and also pray that that country is experiencing um, rational thought and kindness, due diligence in the governmental officials' duties. We ask that it's not only the crops and the rain that comes at the appropriate time for the countries, but also that those people governing our countries, Hashem, are doing the right thing. They are behaving in a righteous and rational manner. May those that represent and govern continue to use common sense to discern right from wrong. May they abide by the constitution of the government and not become involved in actions that will bring our country into danger, ill repute, or unrighteousness. May all the righteous nations of the world continue to receive blessings from Hashem now and in the future. Just take time now to sit quietly and say your own personal prayers or conversations that you want to have with Hashem. This is an important thing. It's not totally about us talking all the time, but we've got to make time to try to listen. Quiet contemplation helps us to do that. So just relax and sit quietly and let your mind drift to things that are nourishing for your soul or righteous towards others. Take time now Concentrate on your own private requests, moments of thankfulness, things that apply to you. Ask God's help. This part of your contemplative conversation is to do with you. Tell Hashem things you've done this week that you're happy with. Ask Him for help in things you'll need to be doing next week. Hashem, may I continue to always seek opportunities to be kind to others and to be a righteous individual. Remind me how I should remain righteous in my daily activities of living, as you have commanded me, you, Hashem, my loving Father. Continue to stay quietly in contemplative conversation with Hashem and seek opportunities often to do that, even if it's only for a few moments. It really does boost your soul and your happiness. Please continue what you're doing now, and I will see and pray with you again all next week. In the meantime, take care, keep praying. God bless.